Hey everyone. Okay, you see the title down below or above, and if you're a member, if you are a member like I am, of FurAffinity, like many others are as well, you might have noticed if you tried to log in the past few days, if not the past 24 hours, that the site is down. Now it might be up by the time you watch this. Hopefully it will be back up. But apparently, FurAffinity was attacked. Yeah, FurAffinity, from what I read, and I'll try to bring it up here. Hold on. Okay, this was done by Dragoneer, the administrator at FurAffinity. This is on the FurAffinity forums. I will provide a link so you guys can check it out. And he titles it 5/17, May 17th, side attack. And this is what Dragoneer says for some of you that may not know what happened, and I quote, "It was brought to our attention last night, May 16th, that someone had obtained a copy of FurAffinity's source code via the recent quote-unquote image trackit, exploit in the image magic library, a common server-side image processing software. This exploit was patched earlier in this month, but not before a malicious, user was able to download a copy of our source code, and later actively distributed it via USB drives at a convention." I continue on. "We managed to get a hold of one of the USB drives and started to analyze what was distributed. While we were investigating, somebody launched a second attack against the site using information gleaned from the source code. This attack targeted the site's database by deleting user information, submissions, and watches. It was stopped before any further damage could be done. Other information such as journals, notes, passwords, and personal information was not affected. We're currently in the process of doing a security audit on the existing code and closing any loopholes which may be accessible from the source code. We are also working to restore the deleted data. Our most recent full backup is from May 11th. So approximately 6 days worth of new user registrations, account watches, and new submissions have been lost due to the attack. We are still trying to evaluate the scope of the attack. We apologize for the inconvenience to the community, and are working to rectify the issues. If anyone has knowledge/evidence as to who perpetrated the attack, or who was distributing the USB drives containing FA's source code, please privately contact Dragoneer." And you'll be able to see how to contact him when you read the link. "We are working to restore FA as quickly as we can, but want to make sure we take proper steps to prevent any further issues. We will keep the community updated on our progress." Now, they do provide a photo of one of the USB drives distributed with the source code. Now, they do give updates. Now, they have been updating. They basically say overall that they're close to getting the site back up. Now, here are my thoughts on this, though. This isn't the first time FurAffinity or any site like them has been attacked. The reason FurAffinity and sites like them have been attacked in the past, and obviously now, is because there are people out there that don't understand. I mean, how many times do people like me have to come out and explain that this is like an escapism? Sites like this are like an escapism for us to escape from the exhaustion, the stress of everyday life. Like for me, it's a place I can go to and read stories, look at artwork, whether it's appropriate or not. It all depends on who the artist is, whether the story is appropriate or not, depending on who the artist is, or the writer is, it allows someone like me to go sit back and escape into this site and enjoy what I see. It's kind of like what happened with DeviantArt and other sites. The reason for this, depending on who it was, and I think people have a clue as to who it could be. The reason for this, like I said, is there are those that don't get it. Now, I would not be surprised if the people that were distributing the USB drive with the source codes, now I would not be surprised that the person distributing, or the people distributing the USB drives with FurAffinity source code are the kind of people that don't understand, like I said. Are the kind of people that look at those that are members of FurAffinity in places like it and look at them as freaks, sickos. Yeah. And you know why they look at them like that? Because they don't understand. They don't get it. I mean, it's the same with the My Little Pony community, the Friendship is Magic community, the Brony community. A lot of people look at the Brony community, believe it or not, and they don't get it. They're like, why are grown men into such a girls' show? They're freaks. They're sickos. They're pedophiles. They're weird. It's the same with people that are members of FurAffinity, that are fans of furries. They go out and spend hard-earned money, if they can afford to, and get a fur costume commissioned and mailed to them so they can wear it to a convention, or they could wear it maybe after work or something like that when they come home, so they can escape from reality. As I said one time in an audio video, or video period, I said that people do that to escape reality and act like they don't exist. Basically, they would put on a fursuit, as they call it, a costume of an original character of theirs, or an established character from an animated series, or comic book, or whatever, and basically by putting that suit on, they become that character, and they just pretend that they, as the individual, don't exist anymore. Rabbit in the Room on YouTube is a good example. This person, she puts on Minerva costumes. What's the other female characters she does? Like I said, she puts on Minerva costumes, Bridget costumes, you name it. She does it because it allows her to escape from reality and become that character. She's no longer, who she is in real life. She's now Bridget from American Tail. Or she's now Minerva Mink from Animaniacs. She becomes that character. Same with a girl or lady down in Mexico, or around that vicinity, Texas and Mexico, called Aurora. She puts on her fursuit and acts basically like, she doesn't exist anymore. She's no longer she's no longer the person that she is in real life. She now becomes her, as they call it, her fusion, her vixen self, her wolf self, her vixen persona. She's no longer her human self. She becomes her fusion, her version of again, easy for me to say. Her version, basically her furry version of herself. And she does that, like I said, just like Rabbit in the Room and many others, to escape the stress of the real world. She does it to escape the stress of the real world and basically erase herself temporarily from existence and become the character she's now become by donning this outfit. And that's okay. I mean, you got people like Super Princess Daisy 68, I believe, on YouTube, or Super Princess Daisy SPD 68, I believe, on YouTube, who does both on-camera videos as well as videos featuring her animated version self, feline version self, style, drawn in a Sonic the Hedgehog style. And she does this because, it gives her an outlet to talk about things that normally she wouldn't talk about on camera. And even if she did, it wouldn't be a problem with her, with herself or anybody. But still, it gives her an outlet to kind of do it from a perspective of being a Sonic character, even if it's an OC Sonic character. It gives her that capability to be that character, if you catch my drift. And from a Sonic character perspective, even an original fan Sonic fan character, she's able to basically put that costume on through talking through a mic like what I'm doing now, and talk about what she likes about Sonic and what she likes about certain things about, said franchise and said characters and what's to come, what's to be, It gives her that outlet, just even getting behind the mic and providing her voice and basically using, different images of her character doing different movements to react to certain things that she's talking about is worth it. It really is. And again, it's an escapism for her to like I said, to don that costume even if it's through a microphone providing the voice for that character on camera or on the video. And yet, there are those that just don't get that. And that is why I believe those are the kind of people that just don't understand. You see, it's like I told Animat in the letter that I sent him and he read in his recent What's in the Box videos. I told him basically that it is college kids and maybe young teenagers that just don't get it. That just don't understand that what he does is when he reviews animation, when he reviews and talks about anything animation, he does it for a living. Yeah, he does it as a hobby as well, but it's a hobby that he's turned into a living, and they just don't get that. To them, he's the kind of person that should be like, well, you're in the 20s, you should be reviewing R-rated material, maybe even some sexy XXX lesbian material, or what have you. I mean, think about it this way. Someone sent him the sequel to the Sailor Moon Dragon Ball Z hentai parody called Sailor and the Seven Balls 2 or whatever it's called. And the reason the person who didn't mention a name didn't even come out on the comments and say who they were, the reason the person sent it to him is in their minds, they did it to troll him, but also send a message in their own way of saying, this is the kind of stuff you should be reviewing if you're going to do animation reviews. It's almost like people, again, just don't get it. And that's why I believe those are the kind of people that are behind the attacks on the FurAffinity website and server. They don't get it, and they never will get it. To them, it's just a bunch of freaks, pedophiles, sickos that don't have nothing better to do. Well, let me tell people that don't get it. These sickos, pedophiles, weirdos, whatever you want to call them, they are normal people. They are normal people that when they write stories or do webcomics or fan arts that you and a lot of people may deem not appropriate, even if it is appropriate for everybody. And yes, I admit they do give you the option of writing stories and drawing web comics and drawing fan arts or original arts that are not appropriate, basically mature adult level. But they do it because it allows them to escape from reality. It allows them to basically be able to just let their imagination run wild, let their mind just go just leave reality and go and do things that in the real world would not be possible. Write stories about certain things that in the real world would not be possible to do. It's an escapism, and they just don't get it. They just don't understand. So you know what? So, and, and you know what's funny is, I know how this is. I have had in recent months and the past years, and I'm not the only one, people like Doug Walker, James Wolfe, Pat Contra, Pat the NES Punk, Chris Brones, the irate gamer, Louis Lundberg, the Linkara, Logan Reinberg, Huey Toonmore, Jaime 2, James Sullivan, Matt Burnett, Anna Matt, Angry Joe, Joe Vargas, and the list can go on of all the major internet reviewers, that major and semi-major internet reviewers out there and entertainers out there that, like me, like some of my friends on Facebook and YouTube, will get attacked by people that don't understand. And you know how you can also tell it's young kids or teenagers or even young college kids? By the wording of what they put in the messages. If you see certain words in the messages, like gay, fag, whatever you want to call it, whatever other dirty word you can come up with, or they can come up with, then you know it's a young kid. It's a young punk that doesn't get it. And they never will get it. They never will get it because they don't understand. It's escapism. I mean, to me, it's like, why don't you just come out and say what you really want us to do? Why don't you go out, let's say, to YouTube, talk to the head people at Google and YouTube and say, hey, we'll stop trolling these people, but you give us a channel that has XXX rated material. You know, why don't you just do that? And maybe graciously someone, whether it probably won't be YouTube. It won't be YouTube, I can tell you that. But maybe someone graciously will say, okay, here you go. If you at least come out and be honest. But you know what? You know what's funny about this? Is sooner or later, down the line, these same people that troll us, cyberbully us, hack us, like the people that hacked FurAffinity, someday down the line, they're going to be in similar shoes like us. And they're going to wonder why a younger generation is trolling them, cyberbullying them, hacking their sites that they dedicate the time and effort to for everybody to enjoy, to everybody to be a part of. They're going to wonder the same thing. And maybe one of them, if not all of them, will look back and go like, you know what? We did the exact same thing to those other people. Now we know how they feel. But again, my honest opinion, I just think it's because they don't understand. And quite frankly, I don't think those that did this to FurAffinity, I don't think they ever will understand. But hopefully, good Lord willing, someday they will understand. Maybe someday they will understand. But who knows? Because, you know, like I said, this is not the first time this has happened. And I bet, and I can almost guarantee it won't be the last time people like this try to do these kind of things. Because the last time this happened before this attack, it wasn't just FurAffinity. It was every site similar to it. And why? Because like I said, this current generation just doesn't get it, and they just don't understand. So, my thoughts overall is, you know, just got to pray to God this never happens again. And I hope and pray they find out who did this. They find out who did this, because you know as well as I do that when they find out who did this, there is a law. There are laws that will allow that will allow them to get to have that person arrested. There are laws that will prevent that person from ever doing this again. Either it's being arrested, having their server cut, or whatever it is. There's going to be a punishment. It may not be, you know, spending time in prison or in jail, but it'll be a punishment that will suit the crime. We'll have to wait and see. But thankfully, Dragoneer and those at FurAffinity, administration staff and all that, are getting things back to normal. And hopefully they'll be able to prevent this from ever happening again. And I pray, and maybe we pray and hope we find out who was behind this. Because let's be honest, folks, if we're members of places like FurAffinity, DeviantArt, So Furry, Echo's Portal, you name it, this has got to stop, and this has got to stop now. Let me know what your comments, let me know what you think about this